I'm here, Ben, so don't worry. So Debbie, go to choose virtual background.
Okay.
Ninth annual Just Desserts. The program is starting in 9 minutes. I want to make sure that you can join us in the chat over to the right side of your screen. If you need to create a quick free YouTube account called a channel here in YouTube, take a moment to go ahead and do that. We love to see you in the chat. We want to hear from you. We want you to be able to participate fully in tonight's fun. So again, if you want to create a free channel or account here in YouTube, that allows you to participate in the chat. Another thing to know, if you have a Gmail account, you can use that for chatting in YouTube. Another friendly thing to let you know about, if you haven't registered as a bidder to bid in our online auction, now would be the time. It's quick and easy. You'll want to have a credit card on file in order to bid in our online auction or make a donation during the program. That is, after all, what we're here to do, right? Support allyship. So we're going to drop the link in the chat for you right now so that you can go ahead and make your profile in the online auction software. And that means when you want to bid or make your best gift later in support of allyship's work, it'll be super, super easy for you to do that. For those of you who purchased VIP tickets tonight, I hope you are enjoying your yummy Moscow Mule, as well as that beautiful rainbow cupcake from Capricorn Cakes. I have mine sitting right here. I'm super excited to dig into those soon. And you know, it just wouldn't be just desserts without a little bit of sugar and a mocktail or a cocktail. I mean, really, it's just desserts. So I'm excited to enjoy those things. If you have any questions on how to sign up to chat, please email our staff member, Yeni Lopez. You can email Yeni, that's Y-E-N-I, at allyship.org. Again, that's Yeni, Y-E-N-I, at allyship.org. The program is starting at 5:45. We can't wait to celebrate with you and to raise some amazing money to support Allyship's work. And we'll chat with you again really soon. Hello, so happy that you're arriving here at our 9th annual Just Desserts. The program is starting in 4 minutes, but before we start, we just want to make a few announcements for the good of the order. We want to make sure you can participate in the chat. You know that little chat box on the right side of your screen? It's what gives you a voice in the event, and we want to hear your voice. So if you need to make a quick free YouTube account, it's called a channel here in YouTube. Take a moment, go ahead and do that so that you can participate in all the festivities tonight. Also, friendly little tip, if you have a Gmail account, you're already set up for chatting in YouTube. So bada boom, bada bang. Now, another thing you want to make sure that you've done, you want to make sure you have registered as a bidder to bid in our online auction. Now would be the time to do that, and it's really quick and easy. You want to have a credit card on file, and this will allow you both to bid in the online auction as well as to make a gift during the program tonight. And that is, after all, what we're here to do. So go ahead and click that link we're putting in the chat for you right now and make sure you have your account set up so giving is fast and easy for you later. For those of you who are VIP ticket holders, I hope you're enjoying your Moscow Mule and your rainbow cupcake from Capricorn Cakes. Question, are you sharing? Because I'm not sharing. Maybe you're kinder than I am and you're sharing with your sweetie or your roommate or whoever's there in your germ pod with you at home. I know that I just love a little bit of sugar and a mocktail or a cocktail. It's a Just Desserts tradition. I mean, really, what would Just Desserts be without a little something to nibble and a little something to sip on? If you have any questions on how to sign up to chat, please email our staff member, Yenny Lopez. That address is Yenny at allyship.org. And again, that's Yenny, YENI at allyship.org, and they will be there to help you. Program is starting in just a couple of minutes, so get yourself settled in and ready. We are so excited to spend some time with you and for Just Desserts. Talk to you again soon.
Welcome to LGBTQ Allyship's 9th annual Just Desserts. I'm Debbie Carlson, your co-MC tonight and Executive Director of LGBTQ Allyship. Sadly, we are not in the same room together, enjoying delicious desserts and yummy cocktails as usual. But we are in community, sharing a moment, and I am grateful for that. So welcome. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It's been a difficult year and an unexpected year. But tonight, we will rise to lift the experiences and lives of the most marginalized in the LGBTQ plus community. As we begin our program, LGBTQ Allyship acknowledges that we are on the occupied traditional lands of the Duwamish people, who are the original stewards of this land and continue to live here today. We invite you to contribute to a gift to the Duwamish people through Real Rent Duwamish. And that link is in the chat now. And if you need to, you can also just go to realrentduwamish.org and donate. Now, I would like to introduce you to my co-MC for the evening, Sasha Summer Cousineau. Sasha is the owner of Rebel Rousers Events. She is a fundraising auctioneer, a gala MC, and an event planner based in Seattle, Washington. Sasha is also a long-term partner in our Just Desserts, and I am honored to welcome her back as my co-MC. So welcome, Sasha.
I am honored to be back. Debbie, how many is this now? Have we done 6 or 7 of these events together? I am loving being a part of Just Desserts again. Of course, I'm a huge fan of LGBTQ Allyship's work, and having met so many of you at the in-person event in previous years, my heart is warmed to be sharing space with you again this evening. And Debbie told you I'm a fundraising auctioneer, so the cat's out of the bag. I'm here to talk to you about money, but that's okay because I love talking about raising money for our amazing nonprofit community. Our goal for this event, and I'm saying the big goal for the whole event, is $30,000. We are going to raise $30,000 for LGBTQ allyship, and here's how. There are 2 ways that you, and yes, I'm talking to you on the other side of the screen. You think I can't see you? I can. I got eyes on you. I know who you are. Here's how you are going to help us get to that $30,000 goal. Way 1. You're going to bid in the online auction. Of course, right? We have 10 amazing items. There are so many different kinds of things though, so it's a little something for everybody in there. And as ticket holders, you can register your credit card on the website and just start bidding. Or you can use your access code you received in your email to enter the website. And in the chat, we're going to pop that link to the online auction for you right there. So it's right there at your fingertips. You can get on in that online auction, peruse the fabulous items, and begin to bid, 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 bid. So that is one way that you're going to help get us to that $30,000 goal. And you're saying, Sasha, you said there were 2 ways. And I'm like, yes, friend, I did. You are right. I said there's 2 ways. So what's the second way? I'm about to tell you. You are going to make your most meaningful gift at some point during this program. And we're going to put the donation link in the chat for you again. So that's just right there at your fingertips, nice and handy. Here's something I want to let you know though. I told you I have a $30,000 goal, right? But there's a few different slices that make up the whole pie. So there's a few ways that we're going to get there. We talked about the online auction. That is one way we're going to get to the 30,000. But if we take a look at our fundraising thermometer right now, let's bring our fundraising thermometer up. Here it comes. We're going to take a look. There it is. What you'll see is that we have already raised almost $20,000. So we're just over $19,000 in money raised already. That puts us at about 64% of our goal. You're probably wondering, hey, where did that 19,000 and some change come from? Well, that came from our sponsors. So thank you, sponsors. Debbie's going to tell you about them later. It came from all of you from purchasing tickets, and it came from our VIP ticket holders. So that's how we got to where we are so far with our fundraising. I want to tell you about another slice of the pie, right? Because there's multiple ways we're going to get to this $30,000 raised. Sponsors, tickets, VIP tickets, online auction, your most meaningful gift. We're going to settle in and talk about this for a while. We want to raise $7,000 during this program. Just right here in this virtual room that we're all sharing right now, we want to raise $7,000. So I'm not issuing it. The board of directors, LGBTQ Allyship's board of directors has issued a $7,000 challenge. You're like, what does it mean? What's the $7,000 challenge? Well, the $7,000 challenge is this. We need to raise $7,000 in this program just from donations. That will be that one slice of the pie, right? To complete the $30,000 pie that I keep talking about. Boy, I'm getting hungry. It is Just Desserts though. So it makes sense that I'm talking about pie. If you, dear friends, in our virtual room this evening can get us $4,400 of the way there, the board is going to complete the $7,000. The board has set aside $2,600. And this is an amazing thing because our board, they already volunteer so much of their time. It's a 100% volunteer board, right? They already give their time, but they said, you know what? We want to see us reach $7,000 raised during the program. We're going to pool our resources. As a board, they have $2,600. They need you to come up with $4,400. And that's the $7,000 challenge. That is the task at hand during the course of this program. So we are going to officially ask for your gift a little bit later in the program, but no, you have the power. Yes, you do. You are empowered to make your gift whenever you see fit because we've given you the link. You know how to click it. You know how to get on in there and do your best work. So know that during the course of this program, we're going to raise $7,000 as a community. You all of us are going to get us $4,400 of the way there. The board is going to get us the last $2,600 to get us to that stretch. That's what we want to do in this room tonight. Now, you heard me mention VIP ticket holders a couple of times, and you may have noticed my fancy tiara. VIP ticket members, I hope you're wearing your tiaras. You know why? Because when you bling, you make the cha-ching. You know it's business time, and we're raising money for allyship when we got the tiara on. That's what I do every day when I go to work, is put on a tiara and people know it's business time. No, I only do that for allyship. Anyways, so VIPs, I hope you have your tiara. We also have our glow lights in the colors of the rainbow. And you know, the intention behind this was that we wanted to encircle ourselves. We wanted to create a beautiful queer safe space. So we're encircling ourselves in colors of the rainbow. We also have this delightful scented candle. I'm going to go ahead and light mine right now. And if you're joining me on the other side of the screen, you know, you can light your candle as well. And the intention with the candle is, you know, it's been feeling a little bit like things have been heavy, right? We've had a little bit of dark times. But this is our way of just saying, hey, friend, I'm going to light the path for you. We are here together. We are supporting each other. We are here in community. So that is the intention behind the candle. It also smells good. We live a little smell good, don't we? Our VIP ticket holders also got the Tito's hand sanitizer. Now, if you were putting this towards your mouth, take it out right now. Out of your mouth now, for hands only. It says so right there. Hands only. So Tito's made this lovely hand sanitizer. And what's really cool about this, not only did we have the hand sanitizer for our VIPs, but Tito's actually donated 500 more hand sanitizing kits that LGBTQ allyship is going to give out to community members who need it. And it is Just Desserts. Now, if this is your first time at Just Desserts, then I welcome you. But if you are a return member of our Just Desserts family, then you know how we do it. You know that we always have something sweet to nibble on. And I got my little lovely rainbow cupcake right here. This is courtesy of Capricorn Cupcakes. Hey, it accessorizes with my outfit. I'm really feeling this. That's the high femme diva in me. And of course, we always have a little something to sip on. And I have my lovely, delicious Moscow Mule right here. Reusable straw, FYI. Yep, goes with the Moscow Mule cup. And I just want to thank Taylor. Taylor built these VIP gift bags for us, and they put a lot of work into them. And I'm super, super grateful for all of that work because I am loving this little bit of pizzazz. Well, now that we've talked a little bit about how we're going to fundraise, let's talk about why we're going to fundraise. And to get us started in this conversation, I am going to welcome back to your virtual stage my co-MC and our executive director, Debbie Carlson.
Hello. So first, I actually want to give a shout out to the amazing and tireless crew of our staff and board that ensure that allyship can best serve and empower our community. So I'm going to shout out some names. Folks that are on the screen, please just wave and let us know who you are, because these are the folks that are behind the scenes making it happen. First, Board Chair Lois Stepford, Secretary Jen Finkel-Weaver, Treasurer Claire Boeing-Reichert, Board Development Chair Mac McGregor, and then we have board members Nancy Manos, Board Member Barbara Sear, and Board Member Chris Porter. And also not with us this evening is Board Member Lisa Carl. And I also want to give a shout out to our amazing staff, Program and Development Manager, Taylor Farley, and our Communications and Digital Coordinator, Yenny Lopez. These are the amazing folks that make all of this work possible. So please give a shout out to them. Now, all of us are being impacted by COVID, but this is not the first health epidemic that the LGBTQ community has been through. Many of us remember the AIDS epidemic, and whether you are young or old, it is in our DNA to instinctively care for our chosen family. We remember being invisible to our government. We remember the lack of information on prevention and treatment and care. So in response, we set up systems to care for ourselves and to treat ourselves. But 2020 is not 1980. But invisibility, lack of data on our vulnerability to COVID, and a lack of needed resources to ensure our safety and resiliency represents our current reality. There are several ways you can have an immediate impact, and one of them is to vote. Vote on November 3rd and nudge all of your friends, networks, family, all across the country. Vote, please. It's one way that you can make a difference, but there's another way you can make a difference, and that's tonight. And you can make a difference and have a meaningful impact right now, because tonight we rise together to support and care for our chosen family, friends, and community. Tonight, we will rise together and to ensure no LGBTQ person is left behind during COVID. Tonight, we will rise together to fight for our safety, our community connection, our mental health, and economic and housing stability. In partnership with you, Allyship will fight for economic stability by providing financial assistance, connecting employers to job seekers, and advocating at the state and local levels for economic justice policies that center LGBTQ, low-income, and BIPOC communities in Washington State's economic recovery. We, the LGBTQ plus and allied community, know how to take care of ourselves in crisis, and tonight we rise. Your investment in LGBTQ allyship will help allyship to address housing instability through rental assistance, know your rights trainings, advocacy for housing justice policies that include the unique issues of low-income and BIPOC renters on the brink of homelessness. But there's more. LGBTQ allyship as an advocacy and community organizing nonprofit has been stretched in responding to the needs of our community because of COVID. The economic, racial, gender, and housing disparities in the LGBT community has only been amplified since this pandemic. And through our economic and housing advocacy and community organizing, we know that mainstream direct service organizations have not served us well. COVID has amplified that gap, and allyship became an ambassador between direct service and advocacy worlds. Tonight, allyship will highlight some of our advocates and leaders advancing LGBTQ rights and equity during COVID. Every single speaker you will hear from tonight is making a difference for our community. And stay tuned, special treat. At the end of the program, we have a dynamic panel of LGBTQ legislative leaders, including Speaker Lori Jenkins, Senator Marco Elias, and Representative Nicole Macri. and it's being moderated by Senator Claire Wilson. Now, for our first speaker, we have Jack O'Ryan Barker, who has been working with allyship since 2014 and who is currently part of our LGBTQ Housing Committee. This committee leads our senior housing advocacy work and programming. So let's give a warm welcome to Jack.
My name is Jack O'Ryan Barker, and I am trans and queer. And I got to know the allyship group by joining in the summer of 2014, joining a group of intergenerational queers, elders and youth, meeting at the South Park Senior Center. And the purpose of this group, which lasted all summer and into the fall, was to organize and put on a one-day intergenerational queer conference, which we held in November of 2014. And we did this with the help and encouragement of LGBTQ allyship. I'm an elderly queer of very modest means, and that puts me in the exact demographic that allyship likes to help. During COVID, it was difficult. I'm back to work, but we were not working for a while. We were quarantined at home. We, being the 3 other people I work with at this very small business, thanks to allyship, whose mailing list I am a member of, there was an email sent that said, if you're interested in putting your name down for food vouchers, contact these people. So I did that. And unbelievably, I received food vouchers, and especially when I needed them. Not only did I not have to leave my house, but I could send someone with these on the first month, and I went myself the other 2 to get food without having to go through the long and involved process that you do to get food vouchers and from the state and all of that. So that was like a lifesaver. And it's allyship that enabled me to do that. And will be forever grateful for that, because, when you don't know where your next meal is coming from, it fills you with anxiety. Everybody knows that. It's true for all of us. It's important to support allyship because allyship works hard and they care big.
Thank you, Jack. We have been there for elders who have been isolated and needed help in surviving during COVID. And we, with your partnership, will continue to rise and take care of our community. And now I want to give a special thank you to our gold level sponsors for the evening, UFCW 21 and Trial and Error Productions. Please give a special thank you for both gold sponsored sponsors. Also, there are amazing community sponsors that have been so generous to make all of this happen as well. Vulcan, Molina Healthcare, and Uncle Ike's. I also want to give a special warm thank you to all of our neighborhood level sponsors. You see them on the screen now. So thank you, all of the sponsors. We love you. We love your support. Now, I want to introduce you to our next speaker, Kent Council member Brenda Fincher. She is a member of the King County or South King County Housing Committee. And as a committee member, she is helping to lead the South King County LGBTQ faith-based housing campaign. This campaign's goals is to increase housing services and decrease housing discrimination, especially during COVID, for LGBTQ plus folks in South King County. Please welcome Councilmember Brenda Fincher.
Hi, I'm Brenda Fincher. I'm a city council member in the city of Kent, Washington, and I have been a council member since 2014. as a council member, and just part of my personal interest is housing. So in the city of Kent, I've been working on trying to get some protections for renters. And in doing that, I received an invitation from Allyship. And the invitation was to attend a housing forum that they were having specific to South King County. They had a housing report that was tremendous. The amount of information in there, the things that they looked at really revealed the depth of trauma that is put upon people who belong to the LGBTQIA community in housing issues. So being evicted from housing once people find out that they may be gay or that they're trans, and not being able to get housing to begin with. The housing is available, but when the person gets there, the housing is no longer available miraculously. So many people right now are in need of help, whether it's food help, whether it's housing or shelter. We know that access is always something that's important. So not only access to information, but the access to know, where do I go to get what I need? How can I get what is going to help make my life better? That's going to help make the lives of those I care about better. And so that's all part of the initiative, which goes back to allyship and my involvement in the housing program. Allyship has missions, values, and goals like any organization. And for me, it's important that I feel like I'm helping in that. And so one of the things that I have really appreciated and felt that I've helped is that there is a part of the goals and values that says that it takes one person to be part of a movement. I can be part of an organization or a movement to change things in South King County.
Thank you, Councilmember Fincher, for your allyship. Councilmember Brenda Fincher rose to the occasion to be an LGBTQ plus ally in South King County, fighting for LGBTQ housing justice and equity, knowing the most disenfranchised are even more vulnerable during COVID. It takes all of us to rise together and be strong as a community, to do our part in being part of a movement and refuse to let even one LGBTQ marginalized person be left behind. You, our guests, can be part of this movement. One way is by bidding on the auction items available to you on our Just Desserts website. Please go take a look. I want to just highlight a few because they're pretty cool. I'm just going to say, has anybody been gardening while this pandemic has been going on? I have. And in fact, there are several items that include both sun and shade items and auction items that you can bid on. Also, I think it's really important, even while we're in a pandemic, that we don't forget our memorial moments, our memorable moments for our families and of our chosen families. And guess what? We have a queer photographer who has donated generously a family portrait that you all can donate or can bid on and get this like lovely portrait of yourself during this time, or goofy or whatever, like, with the masks. I mean, I'm loving all of those pictures. So that's something that you can, take bid on and do, and also like for a just cause. We have other queer businesses that have also donated, and they have items such as, maybe if you have a car, you need to do some maintenance, you need an oil change. Well, in fact, we have a queer woman auto mechanic that has her own business, and you can bid on her auction items because there's some fabulous services that all of us that are car owners, we need to maintain. So there's some practical items, there's some family items, there's some things that you can do in COVID, like gardening and so forth. There's a little bit of something for everyone. And what I want to just remind people is that the online auction will actually close on October 31st. So we're going to keep it open, but bid now. As a reminder, I just want to have you stay tuned, because at the end of the end of the show, the end of the program, we're going to have an amazing panel of LGBTQ caucus members that you all, as audience members, you get to ask some questions. So stay tuned for that. Now it's time. Let's take a look at our fundraising progress. I'm hoping that we're going to get the thermometer on the graphic. And let's see, Ben, can you tell me again, how much have we raised? I'm excited. How far are we till our $30,000 goal? Oh, we're at 70%. Oh my God, that's awesome. I love it. Keep flowing with the generosity. Thank you all so much. And remember, the links to donate, be part of this cause, be part of this movement, rise tonight. The links are in the chat. Now, I want to go and introduce our next speaker. I want to introduce a fantastic duo, Manuel and Tanisha. Both are members of our South King County 2020 census cohort who played active roles connecting with their communities on why queer and trans people must be counted in the 2020 census. So let's welcome Manuel and Tanisha.
My name's Tanisha, and I first got connected with allyship when I was working sort of as an ambassador and advocate for the US Census. I recognize it's really important for communities when we're talking about socioeconomic justice for us to get engaged in civil actions. Part of that is, filling out the census and making sure that your voice is counted. And, also as a Black queer woman and as a nurse, I'm at the intersection of a lot of these issues that I see in my community and in my patients. Allyship just aligns with a lot of the actions that I'm already taking on a day-to-day.
My name is Manuel, and I recently got involved with the group this last year through a mutual community leader, Roxana, and I reached out to Debbie to work in the census work as well. And from there, as someone as well who also is at the intersection of identities as a queer, non-binary person of color, I live with Tanisha. She's my roommate and friend from college of over 10 years. So I was doing, this amazing work that I wanted to be part of, and I wanted to bring her along as well. I felt part of Allyship's mission by being able to find an organization where I am able to utilize my resources and my community involvement and find somebody that is able to embrace and uplift my queerness.
When thinking about how allyship's work was advocating for communities that were affected by COVID and communities that were representing the Black Lives Matter movement, I think a lot about the different drives that were being done to kind of highlight and reach out deep into the community to the folks that were afraid to leave their homes, that needed resources like masks, hand sanitizers, and also just kind of creating a space too where we could highlight the need.
I believe allyship helped address current issues around COVID and Black Lives Matters movement by being able to have online resources having to do with unemployment as well as worker rights, and in general as well having to do with food insecurities as well, being able to reach out and have these available opportunities for people around to be getting these type of services where they were being specifically more affected, specifically communities of color, low-income communities. I myself actually come from Yakima, one of the worst places where people are being affected. So while I myself have maybe not been directly affected, my family has, and I can only imagine what their communities are going through and the type of resources they also have to have. And I'm thankful that through allyship we do have these resources here and people are able to get the help that they need.
Thank you, Manuel and Tanisha, for your work in increasing the LGBTQ+ census count in South King County and connecting South King County marginalized LGBTQ communities to resources and advocacy allyship has been providing during COVID. I'm just going to take a sip of my Moscow Mule. I hope y'all VIP ticket holders are enjoying the drink. It is delicious, if I may say so myself. Thank you, Taylor, again. But before you hear from our next speaker, I want to take a moment to thank all of our table captains, because without them, this event would not have happened. And all the amazing guests, you all, thank you for being here. We are so appreciative of you. Now, I just want to do one quick reminder that, again, online auction is open and live. Go there now. The links are in the chat. Remember, you got to register beforehand. Super easy. Get there. Look at the items. There's a ton and everything for everybody. I just want to do a shout out for folks who love jewelry and unique jewelry. There's a cool pair of earrings from a local queer artist, locally made. Also, there's a really cool beaded quilt made from a local artist, happens to be our board chair. It's beautiful. You want to support local art and get a treasure, maybe a gift, maybe a holiday gift, maybe something for yourself, bring it all for you. Take some time, look at that, get on and bid. Again, the auction will be open until October 31st. So please bid now. And again, I'm just going to do one more shout out. At the end of this event, we are having a star-studded LGBTQ caucus panel. It's going to be amazing. Speaker Lori Jenkins, Senator Mark Elias, Representative Nicole Macri, and it's going to be moderated by Senator Claire Wilson. There's some powerful and amazing leaders there. You get to ask questions, you, the audience. So take time to do that, and I hope you enjoy this. Now, on to our last speaker of the evening, and it is our program and development manager, Taylor Farley. Taylor has been incremental in serving our community during COVID with Know Your Rights housing and worker rights trainings, resource referrals, food and financial assistance, as well as masks and hand sanitizer distribution to the folks who are most marginalized in our community. So thank you, Taylor, and welcome. Welcome, Taylor.
I am Taylor Farley, and I go by they, them. And I came to LGBTQ allyship in our LGBTQ South King County Task Force. And now I am an employee as the development and program manager. Allyship works to make sure that the voices of the LGBT community is sitting at the table and that they are seen, not just seen, but heard. We do not want the LGBTQ community to stay invisible. During COVID, we were the last on the plate. We went to meetings where we weren't even spoken about. We know that we have the community's voices there. We have asked the community what their needs are. We know that housing is an issue. We know that food is an issue. We know that economic disparity is an issue. And allyship makes sure that those voices are being heard. We have conversations with the decision makers. We are at those tables and we are asking community, and we are creating committees so that those voices are strong. We ask committees to sign on. We ask other partners to sign on with letters to make sure that things like Black Lives Matters are heard, that LGBTQ trans Black women are heard. And this is why our work is important. This is why you need to come and support allyship. This is why you are providing your volunteer. You're going to volunteer time, volunteer your pocketbook, volunteer in any way that you feel is fit for you, because every bit makes a huge difference. And they're asking for your help, and they're asking you to give us a little bit of funding or a lot of funding, and making sure that allyship is still at the table talking for and with the LGBTQ community when it is about making hard decisions about our lives, so that we are no longer have to say we're the marginalized LGBT community that we're working for.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you so much for all your work and for highlighting the impact of our LGBTQ plus COVID advocacy work and why it is especially important now when our community is at risk of being left behind. I know we can rise together to continue to serve and advocate for the needs of LGBTQ plus communities with your partnership. And I just want to do one last and final shout out for everyone to vote on November 3rd and tell all your friends all over the country. We can do this now, through social media. We have all sorts of relatives everywhere and friends. Their vote matters. Our vote matters. Let's vote. Now, I want to bring back to the stage my co-MC, Sasha Summer Kusino, a valued member of the LGBTQ community and an owner of Rebel Rousers Events and auctioneer extraordinaire.
Well, thank you, Debbie. I am happy to be back here on the virtual stage and here with all of you at Just Desserts. I am loving this program so far, but you know what? I'm about to love it a lot more because now is the time, friends. Remember earlier I said later in the program, I'll officially be asking for your gift. Well, that later is now. The time is now. We want you to make your best gift in support of Allyship's work. We're going to drop that link in the chat for you. And I want to remind you, when you make an investment in Allyship, you are supporting some of the most vulnerable in our community during COVID. Our community members who are not being served by other traditional nonprofits. When we come together as a community and we reach this fundraising goal for Allyship, we are giving a powerful voice to folks who need to have a powerful voice. So now is the time. Click that link. Time to make your best gift. And I want to let you know, gifts come in all sizes, right? But let's talk about a few specific sizes, just to let you know, A, what we need and what we're hoping for, and also what your impact might be. When you join us with a gift of $1,000, you are supporting LGBTQ COVID economic and housing advocacy at the state, county, and city level. You help us fight for LGBTQ plus marginalized communities and help make our community visible during our economic recovery. Because as Debbie said earlier, right now, to some folks, we're a little invisible, but Allyship is working to make us visible, make sure we're counted and included in the economic recovery. So that's a gift of $1,000. But maybe you're saying, Sasha, $1,000, I wish I could do it, but that's not quite my speed. Let's talk about some other sizes of gifts on the giving spectrum, because it really is a spectrum, right? And what's important is that we're all doing our best work, that we're coming together as a community to all collectively push Allyship towards this $30,000 goal. If you're able to join us with a gift of $500, you're investing in financial, food, and rental assistance for LGBTQ plus communities not served by mainstream direct service organizations. Think about that. Think about that impact. $500 can help give somebody rental security, food security. Yes, you can do that. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And I'm gonna just take some time really fast. I hope, let's see. I wanna see how we're doing on our fundraising so far. We have the fundraising thermometer up. We are doing great work. Wow, looks like we are 75% of the way to our goal. And I want to thank some of you who are doing amazing work. Jason, thank you for your generous gift. Nell, oh my gosh, thank you for your gift. Every single gift matters. Every single gift gets us closer to the $30,000 goal. Lori, thank you so much. Kristen and Joshua, you each gave $250. That is tremendous. Thank you so much. I'm loving seeing these gifts coming in. Gail, you rock. Oh my gosh. Phil and Maureen, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Julie, hi Julie, we thank you so much for your gift. And Santana, yes, Santana, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are so grateful to you. Ann Kennedy, I know you. Thank you for your gift, Anne. Gary Davis, tremendous. Yes, this is looking beautiful. This is absolutely looking beautiful. Now, we're not quite to our goal, so keep that good work going. Keep the philanthropy flowing. And I just want to let you know, I said earlier that gifts come in all sizes, and that is true. And there's a place for each of us that is somewhere along the giving spectrum. If you can't do 1,000 or 500 or even 250, are you able to join us with a gift of $100? Are you able to join us with a gift of $50? All the gifts that we give come together to get us closer to that goal. Holy wow, Michael, tremendous. Thank you for that beautiful gift. That is amazing. You all are doing some amazing work. When I'm looking over here, it's because I'm looking at the fundraising. I do love looking into your eyes, right? Your eyes are great. That you have the look of a mighty philanthropist, but I have to sometimes just look at the work we're doing. So I'm looking over here at a second device so I can see how our fundraising is going. And oh my good, what the what? We are 81% of the way towards our goal, but no need to stop the giving. We know we need to raise $30,000 for allyship, but if we could even exceed that, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't we feel like a mighty and powerful community? Wouldn't we feel like our philanthropy is making real difference in the lives of real people in our communities, our LGBTQ plus community who needs us to put our best foot forward and on behalf of them? So this is beautiful. We are doing amazing work, but no need to stop the good work. Keep that good work a-coming. And while you're doing that, I want to let you know, maybe you're thinking, Sasha, wow, I would love to give a gift of $1,000. I would love to give a gift of $500, but these are COVID times. And COVID times, they're rough. They're hard. It's an economic turn down. Sometimes I want to be more philanthropic than I'm currently able to, just because my budget simply doesn't allow it. And I'm going to give you a cool idea. Maybe think about taking that big gift that you wish you could give now, split it up monthly. When you split it up monthly into small chewable pieces, small chewable sweet pieces, because this is just desserts, you see that little colored button right underneath the giving levels? It says make it a monthly gift. Bada boom, bada bang. Now you're able to split that big gift up into a monthly gift. That makes a real difference. It makes a real difference. And, nonprofit organizations, they love monthly donors. Monthly donors are literally the gift that keeps on giving. So I want to take another look here really quick at the fundraising. Let's see how we're doing. I'm going to hit refresh on my screen and take a peek at this magic here. Okay, let's see what's happened since the last time I thanked you all. Give me a moment. My device is updating. Okay, here we go. Oh, yes, Drake. Thank you. Amazing. And Agnes. Oh my gosh, Agnes, thank you. Oh, Joan. Yes, thank you so much. And Jean. Oh, Jean, thank you. You all are doing such beautiful work. This is incredible. Thanks to all of you working so hard on LGBTQ allyship's behalf. We are currently I just love watching the fundraising thermometer grow, don't you? It is absolutely thrilling. We are currently at 84% of our fundraising goal. Yay, amazing. I am feeling uber confident that we're going to get to $30,000. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling your power. I'm feeling your energy. I'm feeling your investment in community. I am feeling that you care about LGBTQ allyship and this incredible work. So keep it coming. Keep it coming. No reason to stop a good thing. Now, while you all are going to continue to make your gifts, I want to let you know the time for giving is not over. We are going to take another look at the fundraising thermometer here in a little bit, but we've been promising you a special treat here for a little while, and who are we not to deliver on the promise of a special treat? So we are going to shift gears for a moment into our panel, but then we're going to take another look at the fundraising. So I have the pleasure of introducing a lovely human being who I've now known for a couple of years, and I'm super just always excited by her energy, her smarts, her investment in Washington State. This person's legislative work has built on her 25 years at the Puget Sound Educational Services District, where she was an administrator in early education and family involvement. Elected to the Senate in 2018, she quickly rose to the ranks of Senate leadership as Assistant Majority Whip. And if you're wondering, what the heck does that mean? Majority Whip, it sounds kinky. Well, I mean, maybe it is, but probably not in this context, and it's also not whipped cream. Here's what the Majority Whip does. The majority whip is one of two lawmakers responsible for knowing whether key legislative proposals have the support to pass out of the Senate and when it makes the most sense to call them to the floor for a Senate. So strategery, that's what the job of the majority whip is. So I want you to head to the chat. I want you to hoot and holler. I want you to say, hey, put your welcomes in there. You can put your little clap emojis as we bring to your screen our moderator for our LGBTQ plus legislative caucus panel. Please welcome Senator Claire Wilson.
Well, I don't even know how I can top that, Sasha. Thank you so much for that incredible introduction. And I have to tell you, I am absolutely humbled tonight to be able to moderate a group of individuals who have really been mentors to me in my very short time in the Washington State Legislature. And so I would like to introduce Speaker Lori Jenkins, who is representing the 27th Legislative District covering Pierce County. Senator Mark Elias from the 21st Legislative District in Snohomish County, and Representative Nicole Macri from the 43rd Legislative District, which covers downtown Seattle, Capitol Hill, and the North Seattle area. And we have a very short period of time to answer some very important questions. And when I shared with Speaker Jenkins, we had 90-second responses. She kind of joked back that that's unheard of, but it's going to be like a speed round. So here we go. We're going to ask the questions of you each. I will give you 90 seconds to respond. And then we'll also ask some questions of the audience. So here we go. COVID is the most pressing issue for the LGBTQ plus community. And as community, we don't want to be left behind like we were during the AIDS epidemic. What will you do to ensure that our communities of color, immigrant refugee, the unemployed, the underemployed, elders, and homeless youth within our community will be prioritized for the vaccine in 2021 as a high-risk community, as well as be prioritized for economic recovery funds for things like rental assistance, food, and other basic needs? Speaker Jenkins, let's start with you.
Thank you, Senator Wilson. It's great to be here with all of you. And I actually told Senator Wilson that no politician had ever met anything called 60 or 90 seconds. We don't even know what that is, but I'll do my best to try. I think this is a great question. One of the things I just really think that is important for the LGBTQ community to think about is that we have come very close. We are the community that knows how to beat a friggin' pandemic. We know how to do that. We already know from the 1980s how to put on a mask, right? Different kind of mask, but we know how to do that. And we are the community, I think, that can lead the rest of Washington through this. So I just want us to call back on everything that we did in the 80s and 90s. And I know we still have work to do, but I want us to keep on working. I think with regard to the vaccine, I work in public health in my other job, and I really do rely on public health. Now, I know there's a lot of questions probably about the CDC at the federal level, but we really have to advocate and make sure that we're talking to our local health departments. They're the ones who are doing the planning for how vaccines are distributed. And so I think we have to make sure that we're involved in that planning, that we understand it, and that we're fully engaged. And that's the most important thing that we can do at local levels to make that happen.
Thank you very much. Senator Elias, why don't you go next?
Thank you so much, Senator Wilson, and I love that introduction of you. Senator Wilson is a critical member of our leadership team, and as the Senate Majority Floor Leader, I could not do my job without Senator Wilson telling me if we have the votes to pass critical legislation. So she's been an incredible addition to the team. I will just, in addition to the great words that the Speaker made, and I think having a public health expert as Speaker of the House is one huge step forward we've had as we deal with COVID-19. We are also really fortunate as a community that our Secretary of Health, Secretary Weissman, is also a member of our community, and he has made sure that our most at-risk populations are front and center in the response. I would just add, I think we've got to, as we return to session in 2021, ensure that the second part of your question is answered, that we've focused on rent relief and small business relief for the folks who are most exposed right now. We know that Congress passed a recovery bill that excluded all undocumented folks from any kind of assistance. And I'm really thrilled that Governor Inslee has stepped up to make sure that our undocumented communities aren't left out. Our LGBTQ community, a lot of folks think I look like it, that it's white guys. We know that 30% of our community is people of color and that there are over 50,000 low-income LGBTQ people in Washington. We have to make sure we're providing rent relief and assistance. We have to make sure we're targeting small businesses that have been left out. And that's why Allyship's work is so critical in finding those intersections and building that movement together. So I'm excited to work in partnership as we move forward.
All righty. Representative Macri, what would you like to add?
Thank you so much, Senator Wilson. And it's great to be here, not only with some of my closest colleagues, but amazing friends who have helped make my work in the legislature not only meaningful, but fun at times. So thank you for that. And I'll say beautiful answers. When I cast my vote for Lori Jenkins to be Speaker of the House, little did I know that we were really going to need a public health leader at the helm. So I am so grateful for that. I've worked most of my life on issues around housing security and truly on housing justice issues. And I've been working very closely with our Department of Commerce, where things like small business loans and rent assistance has been originated through some of the federal dollars that have come to our state. And I'm very proud, not only for the work Commerce has done to include organizations that are by and for our most impacted communities and how these dollars are getting distributed across the state, but in carefully reviewing the lists that they have for my own area in King County and making sure the LGBTQ community organizations that I work most closely with, including and especially those who work with Black trans women, are included on the list. So I think that is essential, is that we have our community-based organizations helping us on the forefront to make sure the dollars are going to folks who are not likely to go to mainstream organizations for a whole host of reasons. And we know that many in our LGBTQ community, especially our young people who are housing unstable or living homeless, are hesitant to go to our more mainstream organizations. And I think that's an essential piece of it. It creates a feedback loop that we can understand what is working well in community, and keeping those community-based organizations included, like Allyship, is going to be essential as we go forward over the next several months.
All right, thank you all. Here we go. Ready for question number 2. Our community has unfortunately been devastated economically. Too many people have lost their jobs and are still unemployed or underemployed. But because unemployment insurance does not track sexual orientation and gender identity, we are not on the radar. How can you support the voluntary and safe tracking of sexual orientation and gender identity data to help our community see themselves reflected in unemployment rates, as well as ensure there are unemployment insurance agents dedicated to helping our community navigate the system in these new waves of unemployment and economic recovery? Let's go for you again.
Thanks again, Senator Wilson. It's just great to hear from all three of you, hear these questions, hear the responses. We have quite a partnership in the legislature. For folks who don't know, we have a caucus. We meet regularly. We prioritize issues for the LGBTQ community that are brought to us. And so we work very collegially across the rotunda between the House and Senate, and then amongst ourselves. And it's been great to work with all three of these great folks. I think this is a really important thing for us to advocate for. The thing that I would suggest that we do is, first of all, there probably should be a letter that goes out to the Employment Security Department from LGBTQ community organizations asking for this. You ought to share it with legislators so that then we can follow up. The other thing I think is, Senator Wilson was the big advocate for creating the LGBTQ Commission, and we should really engage the commission in helping us with this. They are interested and really anxious to help and to be a liaison on legislative issues. And so I think that would be another very important approach that we could use. And we as legislators then can kind of line up behind and help to do things both behind the scenes and in the forefront to help make that happen.
Thank you so much. Senator Leas, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think the speaker's point is really well made. This was one of the reasons why we formed the LGBTQ Commission, was to ensure we could really dig into the details of policy. I will say, I think adding self-identification is really critically important. We also need to make sure that folks who do self-identify know how their data is going to be used, because we don't want to see our community underrepresented in the counts. And so if people don't participate, then we don't want to end up in a situation where we, just like in the census, we've been rushing to make sure everybody gets counted so everybody is seen. I think we need to also think about allyship as a partner in educating the community around why self-identification is really important, and to assure people how that data will be kept private so that it isn't something that's going to be used in negative ways. But I do think the commission, and as Speaker Jenkins said, a community-led effort that us lawmakers can support are great steps forward on this.
Thank you so much, Representative Macri.
And I don't have much to add. I think those are key points. It's an honor, really, and a great responsibility to serve with you, Senator Wilson, as one of the legislative advisors to the LGBTQ Commission. And these are exactly the issues that come up in those commission meetings, and that come up in dialogue over email between meetings. And I think it is an excellent issue. And I think we should look to organizations like Allyship, who demonstrated tremendous leadership through the census, and to make sure that our community was counted and is counted, and raise up the education. I represent an urban district. I myself live on Capitol Hill in Seattle. But what we have learned through Allyship's great work and through the work of commissioners from around the state is that we need to work hard to make sure that LGBTQ people in small, tiny little towns across Washington state, across our suburbs, and in our urban areas are all represented, and that they feel like that their perspectives and their voices can count, and that we can understand the impacts. We have, as legislators, we are in constant communication with employment and security. We are constantly doing advocacy on behalf of our own constituents to navigate what is unfortunately still a pretty challenging process because of the huge volume. And I'd say that the ideas that Speaker Jenkins and Senator Leas brought up are good ones. And I think as a caucus, as an LGBTQ caucus, we can help lift up some of that advocacy to the governor and to the Employment Security Department.
Awesome. All righty, we are going to do, I think we're running out. We're going to do one lightning round, 60-second answer. And the question is this, and I'm going to go backwards. So Representative Macri, be ready to go. So what is one thing we should know about LGBTQ issues at the state level and we should be really paying attention to?
As we go into session, back to the legislature in January, we must focus not only on public health, but make sure that all community members have access to healthcare. And we have fought hard to remove discrimination from access to healthcare for our LGBTQ folks. We're going to continue to work on that. We know particularly our trans community and our communities of color and our immigrant communities are definitely impacted with loss of healthcare access, loss of healthcare coverage, and we'll be pressing hard on those issues, and we need to hear your voices.
Nicely done. Senator Leah, 60 seconds. What would be your answer?
Well, I think we've got to remember that representation matters, and Speaker Jenkins and Representative Macri and I are all on the ballot right now. We need to make sure that we continue to see LGBTQ representation in state government. We've also got amazing new candidates like Colton Myers and Zach Zapone running in Spokane and down in Mason County. So we've got to make sure that we keep our record-breaking representation, both in the legislature, but that we also gear up next year in local elections to get more LGBTQ plus people elected at all levels of government. Because if we're not in the room, then we're on the menu, as they say. If we're not at the table, then we're on the menu. And we've seen that in our own experiences, that if our voices aren't in the process, our needs aren't being addressed. And we've got to make sure we've got our ballot in the mail right now. That's our most powerful tool in the next 9 days to make sure that our issues are front and center as we move forward.
Thanks so much. Speaker Jenkins, last 60 seconds is yours.
Thank you for that. And it's just it's a treasure to be able to work with Representative Macri and Senator Elias and Senator Wilson. They're just incredible partners across the board. I think a couple of things that are important for you to know. One is the LGBTQ community has really a lot of very good friends in the House and Senate Democratic caucus, and that majorities really, really matter. The majority is the one that sets the agenda, that makes decisions on what bills are heard, what bills move off the floor, and having Democratic majorities in the House and Senate and in the governor's office is incredibly important, and certainly at the lieutenant governor's office too. So I think that's really important. The other little behind the scenes thing that is going to be new for the House Democratic caucus that I want you to know about is we've committed, and actually the Senate, we're working together with the Senate on it. So I think it's actually both caucuses. We are going to apply an equity lens to the work we do, both on policy issues and on budget decisions this year. It'll likely be focused primarily, we're just testing it out right now, but it'll primarily be focused on racial equity, but we will also be using that in other areas. And equity is an important thing to the LGBTQ community that we understand well. We understand the connectedness of oppression. So know that you've got friends, and know that we're going back ready to work.
Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you all for your service. I can't tell you how much of an honor it is to work with all three of you. And I really appreciate you giving up some time on a Sunday evening. And I'm going to now pass it back over to Debbie and to Sasha.
That was fantastic. Thank you for that rich conversation. I hope that you will head to the chat right now and give a huge round of applause to Senator Claire Wilson, Senator Marco Elias, Speaker Lori Jenkins, and Representative Nicole Macri. Thank you so much. The fact that you took your time this evening to join us, I know that you are very busy as elected officials, and for those of you who also are happen to be running campaigns right now, I know you're extra busy. So taking time out for LGBTQ allyship really lets us know where you stand on our issues and the work that LGBTQ allyship does. So thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your leadership. Hey friends, guess what time it is? I'm back. So you know what time it is. It's time to take a look at our fundraising progress. Let's bring the fundraising thermometer right back up, and woohoo, look at that. Would you look at how amazing you are? We are at 96% of our goal. Oh my God, 96% of our total $30,000 goal. This is incredible. I want to say thank you to just a few people, but before we do that, I want to let you know that you remember earlier, I was talking about that $7,000 challenge, right? That the board issued. They said, we want to raise $7,000 during this program alone. You know, there's the other pieces of the pie that are going to do their work towards the $30,000, but you all needed to give $4,400 to get us the board incentive towards the $7,000. And that meant that we needed to reach $23,798 for the board to kick in their $2,600. Y'all blew that out the water. overachievers. You're all a bunch of overachievers. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is add the board's gift of $2,600. Let's go ahead and add that in. And then Ben, our tech wizard behind the scenes, is going to press refresh so we can see that fundraising thermometer grow. I'm going to do the same thing on my device because I love watching this happen. It is super, super, super awesome. And holy wow, the thermometer is growing. And yes, we are at $28,813 raised. And I absolutely must thank some people because you all are doing beautiful work. So thank you, Agnes. Agnes, you rock. Thank you so much. Jean, amazing. Thank you very much, Jean. Deb Sauls, hello, friend. I'm happy you're here. Thank you, Deb, for your gift. Martha and June, thank you very much. Brendan, thank you. What's up, Natalia? Hello. How are you? So happy you're here. Thank you for your gift. That was quite kind of you. And Sarah Kate. Hello, Sarah Kate. So many amazing people in the audience this evening, people that I know and love through all sorts of beautiful queer and artistic and activist communities. And let's see. Yes, I think I've gotten everybody now. I have. I hope you feel really accomplished. I hope you are feeling really, really good about yourselves as a mighty philanthropic community. I want to remind you of just a couple of things. You can make your gift a monthly gift. So you made a great impact tonight. If you want to be the gift that keeps on giving for Allyship's work, you can consider becoming a monthly donor. You can do that right there on the same website or webpage that you donated on. And we're going to leave that link, that donation link open until 7 p.m. So for another 8 minutes. So if you want to quickly just text that link to some of your friends, email it, say, hey, can you join me in supporting Allyship? I'm really passionate about the work that they're doing in community. Will you join me by also making a gift? I hope you feel empowered to do that because you can. The power is yours. Yes. It's yours. And with no further ado, before we wrap up our program, I think we should bring our executive director, the fabulous, the one, Miss Debbie Carlson, back to our virtual stage. Hello, Debbie.
Hello, I am gushing. I can't believe it. This is amazing. Wow, thank you all so much for making Allyship's first virtual Just Desserts a smashing success. Thank you all to our elected leaders. That was a powerful panel. Thank you so much. And all the folks that were behind the scenes, we've thanked some of them, but I want to especially thank Sasha for helping us get to our goal, and also Ben Lawrence, who is the tech guru behind the scenes. Thank you so much. Big, big thank you for everyone. Remember to vote, and also have a wonderful evening. You all rose together tonight. You made it happen. You're amazing. Have a wonderful evening. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Lots of kisses.